tragedies, think about the environment of COVID, all of a sudden we're having to deal with it. And one of the things I was involved in with you folks is looking how can we react to situations. And in this case, on June 24th, 2021, some of you may remember that there was South Towers condo that collapsed 1:22 in the morning. Can you imagine that it partially collapsed and caused the death of 98 people? And it was a tragedy, and it really made worldwide news. We had a number of crews come and help us. Even the Israelis came, and it was just hard that we couldn't imagine. And then what is the question that everybody has is, how could this have happened? And through this, it was basically, we're thinking about lessons learned. And everybody said, how could we not know this? You remember that, Mark? It was, what happened?
Yes. So it was not unknown. People knew about the problems at the tower. They maybe did not understand it in its full complexity or as situated to them personally. And part of that is the process that's involved in what is called recertification. Buildings in this community in Florida need to be recertified every 40 years to make sure that they're sound, that their architecture and engineering is still, compatible with the people living in them, having access to them. The things that happened here was, prior to the certification process, the building was inspected for other reasons around the pool deck, and they noticed some failures in the concrete. What didn't happen thereafter was a focused and expedient, rush to move on that information. So the information remained buried, it remained opaque to the people who might be most interested in, and to the extent that it was made public to the residents, there was a concern with the cost of remediating those portions of the building. The sad fact of the matter is that the result is what you see.
Yeah, and what happened, people were saying the residents even knew there were issues, but somebody said, I don't want to pay those assessments. They didn't know the severity. They couldn't even understand the reports that engineers had written. The government didn't take it as seriously, right? And this became an issue that after the fact, we want to do what? Lessons learned. So we were looking at what are possible solutions from our lessons learned. And since we had, basically it was inadequate, our inspectors, we didn't have enough, they weren't trained. How can we get novice inspectors to be trained? And one of our ways to look at it was what we called assisted reality. We all heard of augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality. We have just the regular reality that's called assisted reality, and we're thinking about using some of those devices for remote video inspection. And it can be wearable device, hands-free, wireless, and mobile. So if you see on our slide, the gentleman with the hard hat, he basically attached to his hard hat is a device, which is a computer. What he's seeing right under his eye is a screen, just like a regular computer, but he's able to do hands-free. And if you look at in the right-hand corner, you'll see that what he's seeing here, he can record video, take a photo, look at his slides. So the beauty here is there's somebody going to be able to monitor on any mobile device anywhere in the world to give that person that's on the ground, frontline worker, advice in real time.
Correct. Yeah, so he has also in that setup, he has a camera wherein somebody in a remote location could be virtually and actually looking over his shoulder to examine the work that he's doing, much like as represented in the slide in the upper right, a woman with her hands on the machinery that she's engaged with, and somebody guiding her with direction as to how she might engage with that machinery.
So the whole issue here is that we can do real-time assistance from anywhere in the world. So we can basically collaborate as a team. So based on that, we're also basically thinking then, how can you use then that data for also data visualization. You can do then forecasts and predictions. You can use it for digital workflow and documentation. Basically, when you're out in the field, basically someone can then get immediately through the internet or through their device documents. You can also be part of, for instance, any conference call, like a Zoom call. That device on your head will be an instance in a call. One of the problems that has occurred is that these technical reports, we're thinking about incorporating then Chat GPT or any of the other AI into it that can start writing the reports, and those reports can be accessible and understandable. So we can then have action plans that are executed based on our best experiences and best practices. Okay, so now what we want to think about is how do we shorten the time of the metaverse production? And one of the things that we've been applying as looking at 360-degree cameras, incorporating AI, and as we're already taking live video, which doesn't require as many technical skills, we can then look to AI now to basically make that integration and convert that live video to automating a full conversion into video animation. So think about the time it takes even to do any of the animation in the metaverse. We already have established through our RDI live video. There's already software that we can convert the live video to full conversion of the video animation. And the purpose of that is that we're going to be able to shrink the video size. We're going to basically reduce the cost. And our idea is to be everywhere with everything all at the same time. And what does that mean? Is that even when people are on front line, they can be everywhere, inspectors that will help them. Everywhere it can be, even the consumers can see what's happening. And then when we look at with everything all at the same time, everybody can be at the same time at a location. And then we can cast those real-time video into metaverse avatars in near real time. And what we're looking at is also in reducing costs. So it would be basically reducing to zero marginal cost. And this is exciting for us because what I was letting Mark know is the development time of the metaverse is just way too long. By the time you develop, situations change.
And the work is
So what do you
passé.
think, Mark?
So what we want to be able to do is bring to the market, and the market is diverse. It's our citizens, it's our businesses, it's our vendors, it's our government officials, it's the news media, it's anybody who wants to know about the actions and events surrounding government activity. That government activity can now be done more expediently. The reports can be output in various formats that are digestible by those entities and be made useful as open data for them to repurpose. We want to think about, fair and care when it comes to data. So we want the data to be reusable, most specifically. So that means that even after the fact, if there's an area of a site that say got inspected, that someone wants to say, hey, but did you look at this? They can then steer the camera that had already been in the space before. Now, in the present moment, they can steer the camera to an area that may have been overlooked and say, look, up there on the ceiling, there's something that needs to be checked off. So making the data available to everybody all the time is what is meant by that, so that you can go back, you can look at the data reflectively, you can add to the data, you can repurpose it, and you can embellish it with additional information, which again brings us into the AI realm, where AI can now take the information out of this report, compare it to other reports, compare it to things outside of our agency and to other agencies potentially, to do comparisons to understand how was this event, this lessons learned in this event, similar or dissimilar from another event.
Right, Mark. And also it can take the burden off of the inspectors. It can take the burden off of government officials. It can take the burden even off of engineering staff to write some of those reports. Tell us what are the next tasks that need to be done. And also create reports for different segments. For instance, an engineering team is going to have a different report than the end user.
So this is our concept for a metaverse product delivery workflow. The idea being that we can take real life inspections in the field done virtually with assisted reality, and then turn that into multiple products across a metaverse of information, similar to the original platform that I showed with the 3D design of the city. We can layer that with more information that people can then step into that environment and view it, or they can step into more elaborated metaverse animated environments that produce the same effect. These are all part of the initiatives going on here in the city of Coral Gables under the guidance and direction of our director here, Raimundo Rodolfo, who has done a great job of staging us for innovation and technology in the wild and on the fly here in the city of Coral Gables.
Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to emphasize, we're looking for ways to shorten the process to delivery. Because when we start a project, we never know where it's going to take us. Our environment changes like on the spot. So we need to find ways in which to shorten that process, and also to take the burden off of people to do the tedious work. I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. And please, please feel open and to reach out to us. We're eager to collaborate. I'm just so lucky to be working with an innovative, smart city like the city of Coral Gables, and we need all the help, and really we can't do it alone. So if you have any ideas, please reach out to us. You have my LinkedIn and my email. You can reach out to Mark or myself, and we're just thinking that these further initiatives, it's going to be a whole team approach, and it's really going to be really think about it as being international. And I want to thank my partner in crime here, Mark, for helping us. It was a lot of material in a short period of time. We really could have had it. We needed a couple of hours, I think, but at least we gave our best try to tell you what we're doing in the city of Coral Gables. And I'm coming down from the ivory tower to actually see the difficulties in implementing a lot of these technologies. So thank you so much. And thank you to The Economist. You've been such a great support to us. It's just been a pleasure. And we hope to be able to do something with you. We really do. You really have taken us, and we've had some technical difficulties, but we went through it all. So thank you very much. Really, my applause to you folks too for The Economist, and thanks for helping us. And have a good day, and feel free to reach out. Bye-bye.
All the best.